The topic today is the hip, and not just the hip. We're talking about the muscles that connect the hip and make it function. There's 18 of them, and we want to be able to stretch and relax all of them in just a few minutes, and that's what we're going over. Mike?
We're going to do this in a chair, or you can do it on the ground or bed. We'll show a couple of variations of each stretch, and it should only take about 3 minutes to do them all.
That's right. And then at the end, we're going to show you some real nice devices that really help
loosen.
Exactly, and make it life easier to get those muscles relaxed. And we'll be there.
Bob and Brad, the two most famous physical therapists on the internet.
All right, so pay attention and pay attention closely. I've decided to do this so that you can either stretch and work these muscles in a supine position or lying down or seated in a chair. So you can do either way, whichever works best for you, or both of them. So the first one, Mike, was there something I missed?
Yeah, if you're having any extreme amount of pain with the stretch, don't go as far into it. If you've had a hip replacement more recently, you probably want to hold off on this. If it's been many years and you're cleared by your doctor, just do what you can. It's tolerated. Anyway, let's get into it.
That's right. So again, no sharp pain whatsoever. That means you're hurting something, so stop doing that stretch. Wait till the next. The first one, in the seated position, we're going to do single knee to chest, working the posterior of those glute muscles in the back. We're going to just simply grab your knee underneath the knee or over the knee and pull. We're going to hold it for 15 to 30 seconds, or I actually like to pulsate a little bit. Pressure on, pressure off. Work it around a little bit. Mike, how you do it in the supine position?
I'm doing good. Back is flat. Just grab on. If you really struggle to reach far enough, you could certainly hook a towel under your leg and pull up, because some people aren't quite this flexible, but this is one way to do it.
There you go. All right. So once you get through with that one, this is a nice stretch. I call it the piriformis stretch. And I like to do this one on the floor. You can do it on a bed as well. It's a little harder to sit sometimes. But what we're going to do is take one leg, put the foot over the knee, above the knee if you're able to do that, and then take this, I call it the pretzel because you kind of get knotted up a little bit. We're stretching this IT band and the piriformis muscle. That's a really critical part that sometimes tightens up and causes pain. Hip pain as well as knee pain. Stretch here, or you can just pull here. You can rotate a little bit to get a little back stretch if you would like, as long as it feels good. And show how you can do it lying down. Oh, there he's doing it.
So I'm lying down, and all I did is bend my knee. I'm stretching my left one. I took my right foot, propped it over my knee, and then I just pulled it across my body, and you should feel a nice stretch. I'm kind of keeping facing towards the ceiling yet. I'm not rotating with it to get that stretch on the outer hip. You don't have to bend your knee as far as I do. If you can't do that, you could certainly go a little less extreme. Put your leg down here and then just kind of bend it in and pull. The other leg is just helping add a little bit of overpressure with the stretch and just make sure it feels good. Obviously, do both sides. You'll probably notice one side is tighter than the other because, as many people say, we are asymmetrical beings.
Yeah, speak for yourself.
Yeah.
So anyways, that stretch is probably the most complicated, and it looks kind of most delicate to get yourself into. So do the best. We'll go to the next one. This is pretty typical. This is one of my favorite. It's called the figure four in a seated position. You're going to take one leg, cross up like this. This creates the figure four position. If you're having a hard time and your hip is already tight and this is difficult, like Mike was saying, take a towel roll or a belt or something, and you can pull. And actually, you can just pull pant leg if you would like, and just bring it up as far as you can. And then we're going to push this knee down. And this is a really nice, we call it external rotation of the hip, but it's really functional because we always want, as we age, to be able to get our foot up to here, put our socks on, shoes on, tie the shoes, scratch our feet, any of that kind of a thing, and push down again. Be gentle with this. It should feel good. If it's painful, you're going too aggressively. Mike, how do we do it in the bed?
In the bed, start by just crossing one foot over the other. Then you want to make sure this knee can touch the mat. So I'm stretching my left leg. If this is achievable, bring that up your shin further, and then eventually past your knee. If you can go like this past your knee, your leg is all the way down. Then you can start adding more to the stretch by bending the knee slowly up, and you will feel a stretch this way. The extreme version would be bringing your knee to your chest, and now I'm really feeling a stretch. However, if you're tight, just stick where you need to. Over time, it should become easier. It may not be in one day or 1 week, but keep sticking with it for weeks and you should see some progress.
Yeah, and the nice thing about this one, you can just do it before you get out of bed. You're already lying down. You're kind of waking up, get things loosened up.
Ooh, this side's a little tighter. I should work on this side.
One side's tighter, isn't it? So you are asymmetrical.
Yeah.
Good for you. All right, let's go to the next one. Now, what we've done is we stretched the side of the hip muscles, the muscles in the back or the posterior. Now we're going to do the hip flexors. They're the anterior hip muscles. Very common that these get tight. So pay attention and work on this one. Now, if you're in a chair, the best way to do it, I think, a firm chair works best with armrests. And without wheels, of course. We're going to go to the edge of the chair, rotate. I'm going to do my right hip, so I'm going to bring this over. So right now, my left buttocks is securely on the chair, so I don't feel tippy, but my right hip, that ischial tuberosity, that sit bone, is just off the edge of the chair, and then I'm going to drop and slide. Now, this works really well on a smooth floor. And then you'd have your shoes off so your toe can slide like that. It makes it a little easier, not necessary. And then I'm going to stay upright, bring my knee back, and I'm going to feel that stretch. If you put your hand in your front pocket, right below that is the muscles or stretches. That's where you should feel the stretch. If you do this, it will not be as good of a stretch, so try to stay upright, use the armrest, and bring it back. And if you actually go back like this, you can get a little more stretch, even down on the thigh, which is important as well for that rectus femoris muscle. Mike, he's doing it in bed, lying on the side of the bed. Explain.
So get as close as you can comfortably to the edge of the bed. Just make sure it's firm enough so you don't slide off. I'm stretching my left leg. My right leg will stay up on the mat table. You can leave it bent or straight, whatever is comfortable. And then you're just going to drop this hip, and people that are tight, they will be way up here. I've seen it before. Let it try to relax over time. You can certainly put something underneath your foot if you really can't handle it. Maybe a couple pillows, maybe a step stool, just something to add a little bit of height. Eventually, you want to be able to try to lower it down while keeping a nice flat back, not fat back. And then gets a good stretch. If you could touch the floor or the pillow down here and you're feeling a good stretch, you can keep it here. If this seems easy, you can go to the floor, and then to get a little bit of a different hip stretch, you can bend your knee back as well while doing it, but that may be a little advanced for some people. So just do what you can.
There you go. I've noticed since you got the Wyatt Earp mustache, your enunciation of words sometimes gets messed up like
Yeah, I just eating my mustache. It happens.
So let's go on. Now, we actually worked on the side of the hip, the posterior hip, and the anterior, 3 different muscle groups. Now we're going to finish up with the adductors, the groin muscles in here. This works best sitting on the floor or lying in bed. A chair is very difficult to do. If you're sitting on the floor, you simply do this. Bring your feet facing each other. If they can't, do the best you can. You can grab your ankles, pull in as far as you feel comfortable. And then this is the way I do it. I grab my ankles, they're just above my ankles. My forearms will gently push down, and you feel a really nice adductor or inner thigh stretch. Just like this, and I'll hold, and like this. And the closer you bring them in, the better the stretch. Again, be careful. Do not do it till it hurts. Just a nice, comfortable stretch. I do take a belt, a strap, or a towel roll like this, and I'll go around my feet. This is a little more advanced, and that allows you to pull in. And this is the ultimate. Go back like this and pull and stretch. Whoa! Anyways, most people will be at this point. Mike, how do we do it lying in the bed?
In bed, you can start with one leg. If you feel like it's too aggressive or tight, just bend one knee up and then drop it out to the side. The further my foot is towards my buttock, like sitting, the more aggressive the stretch will become. If this seems easy, one-sided, doesn't really bother your back or your hips, you can do both at the same time to save some time. And then again, my feet are just kind of touching, and I'm just shimmying up my heels towards my buttock. and then just try to relax, stretch this way, and then you can certainly put your hands on your inner thighs too if you want to get a little overpressure. But same exact concept, just a little bit different position.
Yeah, there you go. You've done all 18 muscles if you've done all of these stretches. So do the ones that feel the best. Any with pain, just do not do them. Wait till things loosen up a little bit. We're going to give a bonus here, an advanced stretch for the hip, particularly the joint, good for arthritic people. Then also we're going to show some devices that really get into these deep hip muscles, because the hip muscles are actually pretty large. That glute max is one of the largest muscles in the body. We'll show how you can get at that without so much effort. Mike, can you show them that bonus stretch? You're going to need a belt or a strap like that with a solid post, like that vertical support for the handrail on the stairs works well. Anything at home that's solid?
A belt, you're just not going to have the play, so you're going to get to the end range and just stay there. With the band, you have a little bit of play, so you want to make sure it's nice and tight. And then all I'm doing is kind of in a split stance position here, and then I have to keep it kind of in your groin crease region. If it slides down, you can certainly use your hand in there to help hold it. And then with the band, you can lean forward and you'll feel it pulling back a little more. You want to make sure it's pushing on the top of the femur bone here. It's actually pushing it back into the socket if it is kind of out of place. You can certainly go more forward to get a little more aggressive. Again, with the belt, you're just going to be stationary. And then you can also try going it from a lateral or sideways direction and pulling this way, doing a little lunge. This one feels the best to me. It just kind of distracts the hip a little bit and makes it feel good. You can sit here for just a few seconds. I like to go back and forth, hold it for about 3 seconds, and then come back. Some people just like to stay in the stretch for 15 to 30 seconds. Just do what kind of feels best for you.
There you go. And just so you know, I'm not just sitting on the steps to be, lazy, but actually our portable steps will move out because he's pulling hard enough. So I'm here to do that. Plus I needed to get the next thing we talked about so that you can loosen up those muscles without the exercise or the stretch. And that's a nice hot pack. This is a hot pack that I particularly like. Mike, can I show them lying down?
Sure.
I got two positions. I like that. Now, this is a weighted hot pack. It's got weight in it, little beads that actually allow the hot pack to conform to your body, particularly the hip. Lying on your side like this, if you're comfortable, gets over the hip, the side, and the back muscles are very well contacted and will heat up for 15 to 20 minutes. Works really well. Otherwise, I'll do it in a chair. Usually a soft, cushy chair, like in the living room where you have your recliner, wrap it around the hip, put that in there, and that gives you a nice cushion. And, again, the weighted part of this actually retains the heat better and makes better contact. I really like this. We have a link below for it if you're interested. If you really want to get deep into the muscles with a hot pack, the only way you can do it is with, at least the only way we know, is with a far infrared hot pack. And that'll go to over 2 inches deep through the muscles to get to that joint where the conventional hot pack will just go, literally less than a fourth of that. The big disadvantage is the far infrared are a little more expensive, and a lot more expensive actually, but they work well. This is one. You have to use this side of it. The infrared rays do not come off of this. So in this, you can use it here. It can wrap around if you wanted to put it around your leg, here, ankle. So the whole idea is you can use this for almost any part of the body. It doesn't wrap quite as well as the other one, but again, for the hip, nice deep heat. And with that, you'll use it for 45 minutes so that heat has a time to get through the tissues. Now, what do you got there?
Another option is massaging some of the muscles around your hip. Some areas are a little bonier than others, so make sure to be cautious with this. You can certainly use a massage ball, a baseball, golf ball, softball, whatever you have, and do this on the floor if you want on some of the more muscular areas like your glute max, your quads, your hamstrings. However, However, a lot of people that watch us are unable to get to the floor and do this. So
While you're talking,
well, you
I'll
can
demo.
do this. So he's going to demo a little bit. So you can certainly roll around, do that with something you have in your house already. You can use your hands to massage in the area. However, some of the hip muscles are pretty dense and thick, especially in the glute region, and they're hard to reach. So your hands are going to get tired. You can use a massage gun as well if you have one available. Just do some of the more muscular regions. So you can do the quads. You can do the lateral hip. You just want to make sure when you're right on the lateral aspect of your hip region here, where it's quite bony, have a massage head that's maybe a little softer, so it has some cushion to it and it doesn't hit your bony femur region there. You can also do the hamstrings or the glutes.
Yeah.
And you can use, there's different massage gun sizes for different people, so obviously get one that fits you. I can use the D6 model we have here, which is pretty heavy duty. Brad's got a lighter model, the A7, but they both work.
Yeah. So I wanted to just follow up on Mike's comments about less aggressive massage heads, which I would definitely start out as. The round one works really well, or the soft air head is really nice, particularly if you've got a little bony hip and you do happen by accident to get over that bony part. It will not be so discomfortable. Now, this massage gun is smaller, but it's still very powerful. I would be happy with this one. And this actually has a head-on.
That's hot and cold.
Yeah, so it either heats up or it cools down, and it's battery powered, separate from the battery in here. So I'll demonstrate this. This is the way I like to do my hip. I'll lie on my side, just like with the hot pack, flex my hip so that you can get deeper into the muscles and not so hard. And it works out quite well. I like to work up here. When you get close to the sacrum or the SI joint, be careful because that gets bony in that area. Stay over the muscular part of the hip. So back in here, my hip bone is right there where my fingers are touching. Go above it. Don't go too high. You're going to hit the pelvis bone, the superior iliac spine, which is all bone. Stay below that. This should all feel very good. If it doesn't, you're in the wrong spot, or you should not be doing it.
Are they going to be
benefits.
Quizzed on anatomy after this video?
Yes, there will be a pop quiz later on, and you will be graded as such. But seriously, there's one spot you want to stay away from when you do the front of the hip. Okay, obviously there's a personal area you're going to stay away from, but before you get to that, in the crease of the hip here, there is your lymph node, but you do not want to massage over your lymph node, which is right about in here. Stay away from that, so you're over to the side. You can come down, and if you're not sure where the lymph node is, I got my finger on it right there. Very critical, nice little gland that you do not want to disturb.
Yeah, and this massage gun actually has red light therapy and heat as an option as well as one of the heads. So there's lots of variations out there. If you have one available to you, just use the one you have.
There you go. Oh, well, what else do we need to talk about, Mike?
If you want to check out more videos on hips, you can click the video link on the screen. Relieve hip pain, 7 best hip strength and muscle pliability exercises at home. So they're more strengthening exercises versus stretching.
Muscle pliability, that's a big word.
You guys titled it, not me.
Well, actually that comes from that football player. He's he plays quarterback for
Tom Brady.
Yeah,
retired.
Tom Brady.
He was playing flag football the other weekend, though.
And he credits muscle pliability is one of the reasons why he played into his 40s at a high level playing football. And so, see how things fit together?
Yes, Tom Brady's going to be in a video.
I don't know about that. Have a good day and be careful.
Bob and Brad, the two most famous physical therapists.